What's up, guys? It is Frankie here, coming at you live from vacation to bring you my predictions for Week 14 of the 2022 NFL season. Yes, I may be taking a break from life, but greatness never sleeps. Or in this case, mediocrity never sleeps. But anyway, I'm here to give you my picks. It's a great time in the NFL season. Final month. Let's get right to the games. We start with the Thursday night game, which honestly I really have no interest over. Raiders are on a winning streak here, but they're still, I feel like, so far out of it. Rams have just been an incredible disappointment. I'll go with the Raiders minus 5.5. And by the way, I have to be quick on today's picks because the hotel people might come any minute to kick me out of the room so they can clean. So got to be really quick with these picks today. But anyway, Jets and Bills. The Bills are 9.5-point favorites. Yesterday was a difficult one for the Jets. Watched that in a bar with a bunch of Jet fans, and it was a very crushing end of that game. Thinking that you're going to come back here and then just not being able to bury us, not being able to catch the ball there at the end. Jets defense having a terrible first half. Got to give credit to Mike White, another great start, and he's probably earned the right to continue to be a starter for the rest of the season. He had a couple chances there late, but could not get it done. He was 1 for 6. The Jets were 1 for 6 today on red zone drives. And he did pass for 369 yards, but started with a pick, ended with a pick. Again, he should be the starter on this team going forward, but gosh, yesterday felt like, and we still have the 7th playoff spot, so at least that there's nice there, but it was just a tough loss yesterday. The Vikings were very beatable yesterday, and we had our chances many times and could not close the deal, could not get that last touchdown. And then you had the Bills coming off. They're on 10 days rest here because they played on Thursday night. Another solid victory, this one here against the Patriots. Even though you have Von Miller on... Even with Von Miller on injured reserve, the Bills defense still limited the Patriots to 10 points. Allen was 6 for 66 with 65 yards and rushed for 7 on a big 15-play, 9-minute drive on last Thursday. That really got the Bills going there. And they looked better in the running game. It's right now, as we've talked about, Bills and Chiefs, those are still the two best teams in the NFL, and they've played like it all season long. Even though they've had some moments where you're like, hey, I'm not so sure. Last Thursday was like, okay, we're reminded of what this team can do. And I think that will show here. Again, love the Jets. Would love the Jets to pull this one off and pull off another upset against Buffalo, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Bills are too talented. Bills are too loaded. Bills are at home. Give me the Bills minus 9.5. The Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals are 5-point favorites at home. Deshaun Watson came back yesterday, first game back from the suspension, and he did not look impressive at all, which I would figure. Very, very rusty. But the defense and special teams made up for all of the lack of Deshaun offensive performances. 3 non-offensive touchdowns yesterday for the Browns, first time since 1989. 2 defensive scores and a People-Jones punt return touchdown. Don't know, again, what this means for Cleveland going forward, but I do know. We'll see how this whole Deshaun Watson thing plays out, although it looks like they did make the right decision moving on from Baker Mayfield, as it was just announced a few minutes ago that Baker's going to get waived by Carolina. So we are seeing Cleveland did at least, we could talk about whether or not they should have gone with Deshaun, but they made the right decision moving on from Deshaun, or moving on from Baker, because I think they realized that it was over for Baker. Something was wrong. Bengals, I don't know if I'm ready to legitimately call them like a top-tier Super Bowl contender yet. I think they still might be on the outside looking in. They might be tier 2, especially with that offensive line. But yesterday was a reminder of how dominant this team can be, how great Joe Burrow can be. Burrow is now an MVP candidate. It's up there. It's him, it's Mahomes, and it's Hurts right now. But it was another sensational performance. Third best quarterback rating. He is the third best quarterback rating of anyone in the final quarter in football. Joe Cool. Another great offensive showing from him. He leads the NFL in fourth quarter touchdown passes with 9. Led them with that comeback. And another year where they beat Kansas City. That is 3 consecutive victories against the Chiefs. Bengals can make it to the Super Bowl. Don't know if they will, but they definitely. I still don't know if I still think the Bills and Chiefs. It's weird. Do I put them up there on the same level with the Chiefs when they've beaten the Chiefs 3 times in a row? I still think talented. I still think Buffalo and Kansas City are better, but Cincinnati definitely has Kansas City's number. And I think on Sunday they will have Cleveland's number. I think Cleveland will continue to struggle, and the Bengals will accelerate on offense yet again, leading to a win over the Browns. Give me the Bengals minus 5. The Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are 17-point favorites as of this moment. This is the first time all season that a spread, if it stays this way, will have been 17, although we'll see throughout the week if the line fluctuates. The last 2 times that the line in the NFL was over 17, the underdogs both of those times were the Texans. So this is 3 straight games, 3 straight 17-point spreads or more in which the Texans are the underdogs. It has been a rough go of it here for Houston, and they couldn't even beat their former quarterback coming back after the first time in God knows how long. And yeah, it's going to be up to them whether or not they want C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young in the NFL draft this year. But they definitely got to draft a quarterback. Dallas, looking at the NFC here, Dallas is starting to get on that Philadelphia level for me. And yeah, eventually Dallas will probably let us down because it's Dallas. But looking at the talent right now, looking at how dominant they are on offense, 33 points in the fourth quarter, the most they have ever scored in franchise history. Dak Prescott, third in franchise history with touchdown passes, passing Roger Staubach and Danny White. Tony Pollard, his 10th touchdown of the year, matching his total in his first 3 seasons. Just everything on Dallas. They're so loaded right now offensively. They dominated on the defensive side. We'll see what they do here with OBJ. If he apparently is visiting them today, we'll see if Dallas moves on to OBJ. We'll see if they can get him there. But losing Anthony Brown might be the one rough spot here, losing a cornerback like that. But everything else about Dallas looks terrific. Was hesitant to pick the Texans considering that is a huge spread, but you know what? Screw it. The Texans are awful. I'm going to roll with Dallas. I'm going to roll with one of the 4 best teams in the league. Give me the Cowboys, minus 17. The Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. It's a pick 'em as of this moment. Vikings with another nail-biting victory. They've had many of those this year. They've won 10 games this year, the Vikings. 9 of them have been decided by 1 score. So Minnesota just loves to torture their fans here. And Kirk Cousins with the late touchdown, Justin Jefferson to win the game. Even though the Jets outgained the Vikings by 199 yards, still Minnesota was able to get the win. A weird game for Cousins. 35 passes he threw, only gained 173 yards, which included 7 receptions from Jefferson. Not his best offensive showing. He's going to need to step up here. But then you look at Detroit, and who would have thought Detroit is now one of the best offenses in the NFL? They have put up at least 30 points in 4. They've now won 4 of the last 5 games. They have scored a touchdown or field goal on 8 consecutive drives. That is the longest streak to begin a game, and their longest in a game at any point since 1971. You have Jared Goff, who is really seems like found the fountain of youth a little bit, even though he's not that old. You have St. Brown with 2 touchdowns. Jameson Williams, who's been looking good who looked good in his NFL debut, and maybe if you're the Lions, you got to go to him more. But the Lions look great on offense. Even during their 1-6 start, they still put up at least 30 points in 4 games. So Detroit has shown that they are a pretty good offensive team here. Dan Campbell has got the right, has done a good job of building this offense here. Thought about taking Detroit. Again, they've now scored 30 or more points in 6 straight games, or in 6 games total. I don't know if it's consecutive, but total. Thought about taking Detroit because they're at home, but I still think Minnesota overall is the slightly better team. They have the more talent on offense, and I do think that in this game we're going to see the Vikings bounce back. We're going to see Jefferson break out and have a big game. I think they realize that they got to keep winning here. They don't want to head to the playoffs on a down note. So I'm going to take the Vikings here. Give me the Vikings in a pick'em on the road. Although this should be a very exciting game. This might be the game of the week. Give me the Vikings on the road. Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are 3.5-point favorites. Both of these teams coming off pretty dreadful losses. Jacksonville giving up 40 to Detroit. Their defense, they invested a lot of time in this defense, and for it to give up 40 like that. Trevor Lawrence was fine yesterday. He had a lot of drops, a lot of bad drops for Jacksonville. So whatever there. And then you have Tennessee, just an anemic performance against Philadelphia. Their offense did close to nothing. The one guy that was able to do something, Trayvon Burke, suffered concussion. He didn't return. And then without him, other than a 41-yard catch by Okunokwo, whatever his name is. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. Another off day for Derrick Henry, 11 carries, 27 yards. You got to be worried about that. And their pass defense is 31st in the NFL. And so, of course, they're going to let Jalen Hurts just run all over them. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown in his return, 119 yards and 2 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, 102 yards and a score. I got to pick somebody here, and I'll pick Tennessee because Tennessee is still more talented, and they are at home. So I'll take Titans minus 3.5, despite some of the concerns I saw yesterday. Give me the Titans minus 3.5. The Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. The Eagles are 6.5-point favorites. Philadelphia, they are, again, to me, the best team in the NFC. They've been that for a while now. Jalen Hurts yesterday made a case that he could legitimately win the MVP. Mahomes, I still think is the favorite right now. But it's no longer, last week I thought, all right, there's nothing Mahomes can do. Although actually that's not fair because I said Mahomes, there's nothing. Mahomes, it's in Mahomes' hands if he wants to win the MVP. It's Mahomes, it's his journey, it's his destiny. If he wants it, it's in his hands. He can do it. He controls his own destiny here. And they lost to Cincinnati, even though Mahomes I don't think was terrible in that game. But then you had Hurts come in and drop 35 on Tennessee, and now you have a legitimate race here between Mahomes, Hurts, and you can make an argument that Joe Burrow should be in that conversation too. But it's Mahomes, Hurts, 1-2 right now, and I mean, he's fourth in total touchdowns. He entered this week fourth in total touchdowns, and now he's added 4 more against a pretty good Tennessee defense. He's the second quarterback to record multiple games with 3 or more touchdown passes of 25 yards downfield since 2006. 2006. And A.J. Brown, he put on a show against his old team, and boy, did he look like he had fun doing it. 100 receiving yards, pulled in a pair of long touchdown catches. He's been such a great addition here for Tennessee, or for Philadelphia, excuse me. Giants, that was such a difficult loss. Or tie. It felt like a loss. They had the lead late. They let Washington score a touchdown. They let them convert on 4th downs. Can't get the field goal at the end. That was a rough fourth quarter lead. And now they're an underdog to make the playoffs. They've had 3 games in a row where they've not had a win. We're starting to see the lack of Giants talent. We're starting to see their lack of talent finally come back to bite them. The defense, which was a real highlight for us at the beginning of the season, has really fallen apart. And they had OBJ here on Thursday and Friday to visit, but I think after these 2 games, OBJ's like, go to Dallas. I think OBJ is probably going to go to Dallas. If he wants to win a Super Bowl, go to Dallas. We're not winning a Super Bowl here in New York. I'm going to take Philadelphia. I think the Eagles, and even though I know the Giants, I think are still in the playoffs right now, I just think they have a rough schedule coming up, and I think they're losing steam. I think this loss coming up, I think this game will put the hammer in the Giants season. Give me the Eagles -6.5. The Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 2-point favorites. Oh boy. This was losing Lamar for any period of time is going to be rough. He isn't out for the season, but it looks like he's going to be out for a little while here. Tyler Huntley came in, 91-yard game-winning drive to end it. They needed that victory. They desperately needed that victory, but thankfully Denver kind of gave it to them because Denver is garbage offensively, cannot do a damn thing right. But good job out of Huntley coming in there and keeping the Ravens afloat. But you do have to worry. Baltimore did go 1-4 last year in games without Lamar. So now is not the time for Baltimore to collapse here. We will see what Huntley and Jim Harbaugh can do. Steelers have won back-to-back games for the first time this season. They're still 5-7. They had a strong first half, almost let it slip away, but Atlanta was not able to convert there late. I'm gonna go with the Ravens here. I don't know why I'm going with the backup quarterback. I just feel like this is an opportunity here. And as I'm talking, Croatia just tied the game against Japan. I know I should be focused on this, but whatever. Ravens. Just looking at this game here, I just feel like Baltimore. This is the kind of game where I think Huntley's going to actually surprise some people. And trusting the Steelers at home -2, I know, but I don't know. I'm still not totally sold on the Steelers after what they've given me here this past year. So for right now, I'm actually going to take the Ravens to pull off the upset. I say they come out with a good game plan and they're able to surprise everyone and beat the Steelers. Give me the Ravens +2. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. The Chiefs are 9-point favorites. Now Kansas City has lost control of the 1 seed in the AFC. They're now tied with the Bills for 9-3, but thanks to their win against Kansas City, the Bills have the tiebreaker. The Chiefs do have the easier remaining schedule, so that's something to at least be happy there. But again, now they got a win going forward. They have to win every game they've got. They cannot worry about. They can't risk it here against a really good Buffalo team. But this is this tough one here because they've not been able to finish the deal against Cincinnati. They've had leads against Cincinnati, I think, in all 3 of these games, and they haven't been able to close it out. And that's frustrating there. But look, Kansas City's still a great team. I'm still picking them here in this game. I'm not picking Denver as the Russell Wilson disaster continues. They still got, 2-3 more years of this trash? The guy who only half of his... It's actually not terrible that only half of his teammates are going to go to a birthday party, but it seemed like that was the best news all season that Russ has gotten, that half of your teammates went to your birthday party. Kansas City should roll in this game. Give me the Chiefs -9. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are 3-point favorites. This is an interesting one. Tampa Bay does not play tonight. They play tomorrow. Or they play tonight. They didn't play yesterday. They are coming off a loss against Cleveland. They're still in first place in the NFC South, despite the fact that they are 5-6. Losing their All-Pro right tackle Tristan Wirfs was a difficult one. Tampa's defense is not where it needs to be. Just not making so many penalties, not being able to have a good starts. We haven't had a great 60-minute performance from Tampa Bay defense all year long. So we'll see what they can do against San Francisco. But this was interesting. So I was watching the game, as I said, in a bar yesterday. And we're all seeing on the TV Jimmy G get carted off. The first thing I said is, who is the Niners' third-string quarterback? Because I know their backup's gone. I know Trey Lance is gone. And then they show Brock Purdy on there, the 7th-round draft pick. And I turn to the guy next to me, and I go, watch, he's going to throw 4 touchdowns today. Of course, jokingly saying that, not expecting it. But, of course, he drops 33 points. He doesn't score 4 touchdowns, but he still has a solid outing in his first game. This just proves to me that San Francisco just has a great team. Forget whether or not, what their quarterback is. They just have a great team. Imagine if they had Patrick Mahomes. They would go 16-0. I feel like if they had a Patrick Mahomes, or a Josh Allen, or a Jalen Hurts, or a Burrow, or whoever you want to throw out there, I feel like they'd be so much better. But unfortunately, they're left with blah quarterbacks. They're left with guys like Hurts. They're left, with Jimmy G, who was actually good in his return, but Trey Lance, who we still don't know about, and now they got Brock Purdy, and that was an impressive performance against Miami yesterday. Don't know what they're going to do. I'm imagining they're going to stick with Purdy. And the only other guy they have is Jacob Eason, who was recently signed to the practice squad. So you know what? For this instance, for this game, I'm going to roll with San Fran. I just think no matter who their quarterback is, they've shown that they're a great complete team. I still don't know. I think yesterday took them out of them being Super Bowl contenders because I don't know what Purdy can do, in a playoff spot. And I think in the playoffs, people will run over him. But in this moment, in this game, in this spot, got to roll with San Francisco. Niners, 3-point favorites. I'm going to take them, and I'm going to say that that the great team that San Francisco has will be enough to overcome Tampa Bay. Give me the Niners -3. The Carolina Panthers and the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are 4.5-point favorites. Baker Mayfield just got released by Carolina. 1-5 as the starter. I want to see a 30 for 30 on what the hell happened to this guy, on someone who was such a fun quarterback in his first 2 years at Cleveland. He had issues, but for the most part, he looked good. Gave Cleveland their first playoff win, and now he might be out of the league. Bizarre. It's Sam Darnold's job now for the future, which, that's not saying much else, but somebody's got to have that job. And then you have Seattle, who, Geno Smith, what a story. What a great, great story. I'm so happy for this guy. And this is somebody who hated him back in the day on the Jets because his second year was awful. And looking back on it, I think Geno just had some bad luck. He got punched in the face in 2015. He was going to replace Fitzpatrick in 2016, but he tore his ACL. The guy's just had some bad luck. And now here he is. He's finally in a good spot with a good team, with a good coach, and he's done such an excellent job for Seattle. He's been one of the most accurate quarterbacks. He's made great decisions after another. It really makes you sit there and wonder, did we all just underestimate this guy? Did we all just think that maybe he was did we just assume that just because he was with the Jets, we just assumed, all right, that's it, he can't. Maybe we should have given him another chance. We gave Sam Darnold a chance, and look, he's still quarterback at Carolina. Maybe we all should have been like, look, that's the Jets. Let's give Geno a good team around him, and let's see what he can do, because he has been awesome to watch. He's been a terrific, terrific quarterback and I don't think he's going to win the MVP, but he's top 6 right now, looking at the odds. So he's been great. He was great yesterday against the Rams. Even though they're going to lose Walker here, Seattle still has a talented team around them. And I think in this spot, I think they're going to win. I'm not trusting Darnold in this spot. Seattle at home. Give me Seattle to win this game. I like the Seahawks -4.5. Give me Seattle. The Miami Dolphins and the Los Angeles Chargers. The Dolphins are 3-point favorites. I don't want to really hear I know some people are starting to rip Tua, which I don't get. Like, Tua's been great this year. I think it's ridiculous to knock him down after one bad start, even though this was a bad start yesterday. There was just something not there. San Francisco really got to him. After his first pass, he only completed 10 of his next 22 passes for 122 yards and 2 picks. He got it going again in the fourth, but his accuracy wasn't there for most of the day. And some people just, this is the best defense in the NFL, San Francisco. So I wouldn't worry about Tua yet. I wouldn't panic about Tua. Yeah, he had a bad start, but the Niners sometimes will do that to you. Chargers with a very difficult loss against the Raiders. It's just looking bleaker and bleaker. So many injuries. It's just not looking ideal for the Chargers. And now they play the Dolphins and the Titans going forward. So it could be 2 more losses here in this difficult year for the Chargers. In this instance, Miami, I think Tua bounces back. The offense bounces back. Miami wins this one. Give me the Dolphins, -3. And then Patriots, Cardinals. Cardinals coming off a bye. Patriots lost Mac Jones. That looks like a terrible situation there. He doesn't have the personnel around him. Give me the Cardinals +1. That's it for now, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have a news channel and you'd like to see, make sure you subscribe down below. I'll be back later this next week with more NFL videos. I may have an NBA video tomorrow. Check out Frankie Baseball for all the latest news about Aaron Judge and free agency. When that happens, we'll have news on that. Follow all my YouTube channels. Follow both my YouTube channels for that. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, and God bless.